Hey guys, I am starting this recording a little bit early. It's not quite 10 o'clock before our live trading room, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that I'm going to take a position probably here for the arbitrage, the YMNQ arbitrage to go up here. It's currently down about 0.29, down 16 on the spread so far. As soon as I see the, this is the market timer XL arbitrage script. And what happens is when I see all three lines start to move higher, then I got to take a long position. The green line is still kind of pointing down here, but the gold and the gray line is starting to head up. If the green line starts to head up as well, then I got to take a long position. Just wanted to give you a heads up before we got started here, in case I have to do the trade before I get into the room. Okay, so now we have both lines and the green line starting to move up here. So I'm going to go ahead and take a long position, which means buying the YM, selling the NQ. When you're going short, you sell the YM, buy the NQ. Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well. Whoops, muted myself. Hope everybody's doing well. Please use the chat to ask any questions. I'm going to mute you guys just to avoid any background noises that are going on there. Hopefully, can you guys hear me okay? Just type in the chat box. Sounds good. Good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen okay. Great. Good. Okay. Hope everybody's doing well. Good morning. Good morning, Eucharist. So what I did was we already started recording. I recorded a little bit early because I entered a arbitrage trade between the YM and NQ. I got in about 15 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago or so. So I started recording early. So you'll see it on the recording, but it was too early for the trading room. So I had a question from the last recording from a member who said, what's your setup for entering the volatility arbitrage trade for the YM and NQ? And so basically the previous setup and the window that you were seeing in the last video was my monitoring tab. This is the setup that I used in order to enter the trade. So for me, entering the trade means that the Market Timer XL arbitrage indicator down here that we've created, all three of these lines have to be pointing upward. And so when you see it on the recording, when I got into the trade, two of the lines were up. The green line was still heading kind of sideways to down. And then when it turned up, I got into the position. And a long position, if it's going up, you want to take a long position. If it's going down, you want to take a short position. A long position is plus YM. You want to go long one, or however many contracts you want to use. And short the NQ. So long YM, short NQ for a long position. A short position is long NQ and short YM. Alrighty. Other than that, interesting day. Of course, Alphabet had huge earnings, and so it sent the Nasdaq a lot higher. So that's kind of the story of the day. Not really much indication on Market Timer yesterday because there was absolutely no hurting. The Dow was down, but the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq were higher. And it doesn't look like there's going to be any bearish hurting today either, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe we'll have a turnaround. Let me just check. Let me just check my Excel script here. Looks like the buying is fairly strong here on the Excel script. A little bit behind on the volume. So remember on this script, yeah, this is going to break up a little bit here. Data is a little bit slow today. Or it could be my internet, I'm not sure. A little bit of a separation here. Pretty big separation actually between the number of advancing issues and the volume. Remember that the green line is the number of advancing issues. The gray line is the volume that's going into those issues. And so there's pretty good separation. The gray line is at 0.59. Green line is at 0.70. All right. Oops. I got my tires up here. I walked out. I walked out of the house today, and I went to get in my car, and my tire was flat. So I have to find a new. I have to get some new tires for the car. There you guys are. You guys, can you do this with options, long call on the diamonds and long put on the Qs? No, not really, because this is such a short-term trade. I mean, this is a really, really short-term trade. And so you're going to be in it maximum maybe a couple of hours. And so it doesn't make sense to do that on the diamonds and the Qs for options. I mean, you can go out a little bit longer term. I mean, but this is meant to be a very, very short-term trade, an hour, 2 hours at the most. Anybody have any questions from last week? Sure, no problem, you, Chris. The entry for this particular trade is we've got the super passband filter, and when it's at the low end, we're looking at a long position, but it's starting to turn down, and so is this. So I don't know. I was profitable here a few minutes ago, but it's turning on me. I'll give it a few more minutes. Also, if you look at the strength index from Market Timer on the these below, actually the diamonds, you don't even have to put diamonds in there. You can put anything you want because it doesn't rely on the diamonds or any of the other indexes because it's all market internals. Looks like the diamonds are actually a little bit stronger today than the NASDAQ. So it's turning against me a little bit here, but we're still pointing up, so I'll hang in there. It is an NRT3 trade, but it only uses the YMNQ. Like I said in those videos, the YMNQ is my favorite trade for NRT3. I'm not using RTY or the ES at this point. I'm just using YM and NQ. All my indicators look pretty good, so I'm going to put on let me just see here. This is a script up here. This is the arbitrage oscillator. It tells you what the percentage changes when the YMNQ starts to decline. So right now it's down minus 0.1%. The super pass band filter is just it's kind of an oscillator that passes through these two bands here. It's almost like Bollinger Bands because they get narrow and then volatility starts to pick up when they get narrow and then they widen out when volatility increases. And then the bypass, the pass band filter kind of goes either above or below it. Typically, you want to go long when it's down at this low level here, and short when it's up here, above the bands, up above the upper band. I still like to trade though, so All right, John, no problem. We'll see you on Thursday. The supply demand index has been around 4. The NQ is around 3. I haven't seen any really large movement in the supply demand index today, which typically means that it's still going to be like it's definitely an up day. I mean, we saw that with Market Timer XL, definitely to the upside today. Yeah, the bulls are in charge. But we've got the supply demand is starting to come down a little bit. NASDAQ is starting to come down a little bit. We've got a little bit of a decline both on the strength indexes. So we're just kind of hanging in there. I'm not going to take I'm not going to take another position at this point. Just want to move this over a little bit so I can see it. There we go. So all my indicators, the arbitrage script is still saying that we should be going higher here. So let's see where this is going to bottom out. Anybody else have any other questions? Anything about trading in general? Well, with NRT2, you're talking about using the options. So let's take a look at the long term for the options. Let's go out to a weekly. It looks like, I mean, we've got a lot of stuff going on here, but definitely the market timer arbitrage script is pointing up on the weekly. We're really oversold on the YMNQ to the downside here. And so, I would say, if you're going to do something long term, like Eucharist was thinking, long the diamonds and short the Qs might be a good place. This might be a good place to do that. Let me see if I can come out a little bit further here. Oops. I can't get far enough out here. Let me see. Yeah, it's definitely oversold. It's way oversold on the bypass. And you can see that the actual change in the percentage changes here are starting to move higher. They're not as dramatic as they were. So it looks like a good opportunity to go long the diamonds and short the Q. So a long call on the diamonds and puts on the puts on the cues if you're going to be, as long as you have maybe a month or two of a horizon. Come on. Every time I'm on this conference call, my windows freeze up. This is ridiculous. I'm gonna have to sign off again, guys. I'll be right back. Yeah, I have. Yes, I do have flat tires on my windows. Bob says, okay, thanks. That was my thought too. Have they been working most month? I don't do the monthly anymore. I'm only on the options. I'm only doing the futures. Bob, I only do futures now, so I haven't done any of the options for a long time. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to sign off, but I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let me share my screen again. Ooh, what an ordeal. I think I've got too many things going on here. Anyway, I've got too many windows open. I've got 3 computers running. I have my I have Thinkorswim on here. I've got Thinkorswim on my laptop. Anyway, so looks like things are starting to turn around a little bit here. We're still pointing up on the arbitrage, so I'm going to stick with the trade. What else we got going on here? Markets are strong today. Definitely strong. Strength index on the diamonds is really starting to increase. So we're up 180 now on the YM. Looks pretty steady on the NQ. Anybody else doing any trading today? Anything in the futures or options that you want to talk about? Everybody hear me okay? Good. All right, so I'm liking this trade more and more here. Long YM, short NQ. We're still pointing up on the arbitrage script. When all 3 of these lines go up together, you can take a long position. Actually, I did that yesterday, and I did a video for you guys. Last week I told you I had a video on Thursday. I didn't have a chance to put it up yet, but it is done. There's also, I did a script yesterday of my trades for the arbitrage trades, and that's done too. I'll put that up today. Yeah, yesterday was a very good trade. Yeah, they're good, Bob. These are so good trades. They're like, especially if you use the indicators that we have here with the oscillator, between the oscillator and the arbitrage script that we created. If they're pointing up, you just go long. If they're pointing down, you go short. I mean, it's really that easy. You'll love it though. If you try it, you'll love it. For my personal account, I'm going to go ahead and do another contract, 1 long, 1 short. For this demo account, I'll just keep it 1 contract for now. Yeah, it's a daily thing. I mean, hopefully I won't screw up my windows, but let me just show you the video I did yesterday. This was on the 26th. There's no sound because I didn't, I just basically recorded myself doing the trading. Let me see if I can play it, see if you guys can actually see this. This is yesterday. I'll kind of fast forward it a little bit here. You see I was up, I mean, it was only, I think it was maybe 10:30. I was already up $1,000, close to $1,000. And you see these lines down here. One was kind of going down, but the other two were going up. And so I had taken a long position, and then I went short as soon as I saw that yellow line starting to move down. And this was also the super pass band filter was above the upper band, and it was starting to head down as well. So that's like a no-brainer to take a short position. And then look what happened. I'll just scroll through this really, really fast. And then I think right here I showed you, I think right there, if I can get it. Right there, I was up 11.25 for the day. And then I think I came back in and I did another trade. Let me see if it's in here. No. Anyway, so I was up 11.25 for the day, and you can see that the YMNQ just dropped right off of a cliff, hit it perfectly when the super pass band filter was up here, and the arbitrage script started pointing downward. Just got into it absolutely perfect. I have some commentary and stuff I'm going to do, and I'm going to put it up on the website. No, I have two different setups. That's my. This is my entry. This is the screen that I used to enter the trades. The one that you saw last week, Bob, was the one that I used to monitor the trades. But if you get into these, if you get into the YMNQ trade, now in NRT3 we talk about the total market. So, but I like the simplicity, and you can do that if you're really aggressive. But I tend to, like I said in those NRT3 videos in the mentoring program for the first group, I love the YMNQ. That is my favorite. The ES, the YMES is also good if you're really super conservative. You could set this up to use it with the YM and ES. The spread difference between the YM and ES, though, is pretty small. But if you really want to get started, it's kind of like training wheels. I called it training wheels for futures trading, conservative futures trading. If you wanted to do that, you could start out with the YMES. RTY, the Russell 2000, and the NQ. Some people really like that, but it's extremely fast moving. It's crazy. Yeah, exactly. It's easier to manage, especially as I get older, I think, is to manage the YM and NQ. Yeah. Or the YMES. Euchre says, I'm noticing that the MT Study XL indicator has the middle horizontal line set at 0. The one that is provided by Strong Market is set at 50. Really? Are you talking about this one? You talking about the Market Timer XL script, this one here? Huh. Well, this is also set at 0.50, but actually, that's weird. Well, yeah, it is supposed to be at 50. No, you're absolutely right. That's the way it's not supposed to be set at zero, because if you think about it, this is the entire market for the day. So this is all of the volume and all of the issues for the day. And so when they cross that 50% line, that means it's strong. So in this case, we've got the advancing issues and the declining issues, or the advancing issues and the advancing volume above the 50%. So more than 50% is to the upside. And so the Diamond Q 1 hour chart is different at zero. Which one is that? You mean this one down here? In the left-hand corner? That's a different script. So this is the Market Timer XL script, and this is the Market Timer XL arbitrage script. So it's a different script altogether. Yeah, it's a completely different script. The arbitrage script measures the strength and weakness and the supply and demand for the YMNQ as a pair. That's the difference. So these are in beta right now with Market Timer. It hasn't been released yet. So these are no longer pointing up, they're kind of going sideways here. This is still continuing to go higher here, so we may have a little more juice left in this trade. We'll have to see. I'm up about 200 a contract right now. Yeah, this Market Timer XL arbitrage script. So it's a different script altogether. The zero line here is not really it's not really necessary to have that in there, but there is a positive and a negative to this. And typically there's a limit to the downside and a limit to the upside. But this is going sideways. So I'm going to exit this position here. So I'm going to buy that back and I'll sell that. And I'm going to do that on my real account as well. So, well, a mental stop only in I want to see the percentage change. So if the percentage change is really going crazy here and it's up around, for a 1 hour chart, it typically doesn't exceed 20%, which is right here at this line, the 0.2. These are percentages, so 0.2 is 20%. It typically does not exceed that, and it got close to it. And then it started backing off a little bit. And these lines are flat now. So when these lines are flat, then basically there's not much movement left in the percentage of the difference between the YMN and Q. And it's probably a good place to take a position off. So I'm up 200 so far for the day, but it's really easy. It is super, super easy. I mean, if these flatten out, then, you know, you get out of the position. That's about all there is to it. This is still moving higher, so now I'm only looking at a long position. So if these start to turn back up again, I'll take another long position. But I want the super pass band filter rising, the red line rising. I want to see green here on the percentage change, and then the trigger are these lines here. So if those are pointing up, then I'm going to be in long. So I'm only for entry. See, like last week, I was just monitoring the trade, so I used those other the Chandy and the momentum oscillator, and I still have the deviation momentum indicator here just to give me an idea if it's going to pass through that or not. I'll be a little bit more aggressive to the long or the short side. But for the most part, this is my entry. This is how I get in. Hey, Steve. No, there isn't yet because a lot of these scripts are still in beta from Market Timer. So we've got the supply demand index here. We've got the for the NASDAQ and for the NYSE. We've got the strength indicator here for the NASDAQ and the NYSE. And this supply demand script and the strength index script is the same one that's being used in the spreadsheet if you're a Market Timer subscriber. And what they've done is they've taken the formulas, the algorithms for the strength index, supply and demand, and put it into a TOS script. This script down here, it doesn't actually matter what the diamond Q, you could put anything in there. I just remind myself that it's diamond and Qs. But you could put anything in there. It really doesn't matter because the script is working independently of whatever you put in the symbols. But what it's measuring is, this is a special script that I worked with them to create just for the arbitrage between the YM and the NQ, the pair trade. And but they are not available yet. They won't be available probably for another couple weeks. Oh yeah, it's great. Can you get the beta? I don't think they want anything released yet. And actually, the Market Timer Excel script has been released. Do you have that? This one up here? It's just the Market Timer Excel. I have no idea. We've had a few discussions, but I think what they're going to do is they're gonna price it. It's not going to be cheap, that's for sure. But for Market Time, for Tradingology subscribers and members, there's going to be a huge discount. Yes, it would. Yeah, there's going to be a huge discount for Tradingology subscribers. Yep. Wait till you see the video. In fact, let me play a little bit of that. Let me see if I can play that. I'm going to show you. See, last Thursday we only talked about the arbitrage, so we only did the arbitrage stuff. But this, I just completed a video on the. I just completed a video on somebody that I'm privately coaching, and let me see if I've got it ready to go here. No, they're not going to be individually. They're going to be bundled together. So let me.
Hey guys, just like professional football
Can
players,
you hear this? Okay.
Their games. We review when I do private coaching with clients. I request that they videotape, screencast their screenings while they're trading, and then send those to me so I can review them. Just to make sure that they're on track, they're doing things right, and also to see if there was any potential opportunities that they missed or any big mistakes they had that could be corrected easily. And so John sent me this for July 16th and July 17th. I haven't seen it yet. So let's take a look and see what he's prepared for me. It looks like John does usually a pretty professional job. Like he knows how to put graphics on the videos and stuff like that. So let's see what he's done here. Looks like he's starting out with a short position on the YM today, which is the right position to do. We've got the Market Timer Excel going up here. This is the advancing issues. That's the volume into those. I'm sorry, that's the declining issues. That's the volume going into those declining issues, and he's on the right track. He is right to be short today, at least on this particular day. The market does look like it's going to continue to go lower, although it's up a little bit right now. It's about 7 points on the YM contract.
I'm just going to fast forward this to a couple of different points that I want to show you. And this video, the entire video, is going to be up on the membership site here pretty soon. As soon as we get these boxes up here, what we're doing is we're looking at
70, 80%.
We're looking at the values of the supply and demand index for the NYSE, and pretty soon we're going to come to something interesting here. Anyway, I provide a lot of commentary, but there's a couple things that are kind of interesting. If you look in this upper right-hand screen up here, oh, there it is right there. Okay, let me back up a little bit. Right there. You see these large numbers. You may have a hard time seeing it right now, but the supply and demand index on the NASDAQ was minus 150. And it was a minus 138. Those are huge numbers. We also saw minus 3,000. We saw minus 3,000 a couple of times. And he traded based on those numbers. And so if you go through this, he ended up making this is not the arbitrage trade, just scalping using the market timer supply and demand script for TOS. And he ended up making, I think, about $335 for the day. But the entire video will be up very, very soon. I think he also did arbitrage in there someplace. Yeah. Anyway, it'll be up there. You'll see it. It's pretty cool. The supply and demand index, when you see some really large numbers in there on the supply and demand index, like right now it's at plus 3.6. Last week, Thursday and Friday, we saw numbers in the hundreds. And one of them was like minus 3,000. And what those are large block trades by institutional traders. I definitely should have stayed in my long position. I wasn't paying attention here. Okay. Anyway. So right now, supply and demand is really starting to come down on both the New York and the Nasdaq here. Strength though is pretty strong on the YM, on the NYSE. It's still very, very strong here. Kind of flattened out on the Nasdaq. So we're starting to cross. If you're paying attention to the arbitrage script, we're starting to cross that momentum line. We'll see if it holds. We got about 20 minutes left before it closes out this hour. I use hourly charts on the arbitrage script only because on the trade, only because there's too much noise in the lower time frames. And we're getting a nice upturn here in the super pass band filter. The arbitrage script, though, one is pointing down, two are kind of pointing up, so not quite sure. If all three of those point up again, I might take another long position. Any of you guys want to share any trades that you're doing right now? Anything that you got going? Do you guys trade mostly options, or do you guys, anybody do futures at all? Chris, you do options on the SPX or the full SPX or on the SPY? The futures, good. Bought some futures, but not recently. What futures did you trade, Bob? use MT study indicator on the SPX. Good. Oh, excellent. Yeah. YM. Yep. That's my favorite. Okay, good. Yes. Okay, so this is something interesting. So if you get a really big movement like this on the 1 hour chart, that typically means that you're going to go into a new new trend higher on the YMNQ trade. So we'll probably be seeing a lot higher prices here in the near future. So it looks like at the beginning of a new uptrend. Would you spare a minute to show how you would have taken a trade using MT study for gamma scalping today? And would you have sold calls? Oh, I wouldn't have sold calls. Holy cow, no. On the market timer XL script is very strong at this point. So I would not have stepped in front of this very strong movement higher. The advancers, even though there's a huge separation right now between the volume and the number of advancing issues, that doesn't mean that the market is going to decline right away. This may be a setup for maybe tomorrow or for a second. I would have definitely sold puts. I would have definitely sold puts for a scalping, gamma scalping today, but not definitely not calls. Is that what you meant to say, calls, or you meant to say puts? Tell me why you would have sold calls if that's what you meant. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, holy cow. Yeah, you get killed today. Like I said, because of the very strong movement early in the morning. In addition, now once you get the supply demand index, supply demand scripts for the Nasdaq and the NYSE, and the strength index for the NYSE and the Nasdaq, you're going to be in a lot better position to do those gamma scalping trades. Because when you look at start to look at the strength, and that strength starts to come down pretty fast, then if you're short puts, you want to get out of those short put positions on the gamma scalper. But right now, you can as much margin as you can afford, you start selling those puts as long as that strength index here. As long as the strength index here on the diamonds continues to go higher, I would definitely be selling puts, like you said, all day long. Yeah, that's a great trade. Yeah, once you guys get this, the strength index and the supply and demand index, you're going to be way ahead of the game, especially with gamma scalping. So let me collect my garbage here just in case. So if I was going to go in, I don't know what the prices were this morning, but I would, of course, I only want to be in the most recent expiration date. So it's the very top option chain here with 3 days left. I'm definitely going to go in and probably, let's see, where did it open? We opened at 251.26. So I would have gone in probably at the 250s on the diamonds. not sure what the high and low is that, but if it was probably around, I'm going to guess it was around 70 cents this morning. So it's at 34 now. So you're probably that would have been the one I would have gone into, especially if it opened at 251.26. Maybe you could have gotten into the 251s. Those were probably closer to $1 maybe at the open. Bob asked, lobby your group to make them cheap for us. What are you talking about? Oh, you mean the market timer scripts? Yeah, I'll do the very best I can. Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, on a day like today, strong up move. You got that strength index continuing to move higher here. I mean, by now, by 11 a.m., I would have been out of that position. I didn't do that because I took the arbitrage trade today. Typically, I don't get into two different kinds of trades at the same time, although the gamma scalping is pretty much just set and forget until about 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then I'm out of it. Here's one of the scripts I use actually to where is it? Yeah, this is another. I have 3 different windows for the arbitrage trade. This one uses a Spearman oscillator. And it's pretty good. It's not great. The one set trend detector, which kind of just basically, it's very much like the like this other script. The super pass band filter, very similar to that. And then I've been playing around with this balance of market power. That's a new script on TOS. I haven't seen it before. It's kind of okay. I mean, it works fairly well, I guess, with the YMNQ. So this is kind of a test. I kind of test out different scripts in that window. The SPX long call 2825 for August, taken at 9:45 based on MT study purchase 15. No, it's already at 19, so it's up. Oh, good. Up 320 a contract. Good. Nice job. So on this one, see, I've got the market timer ARB set up in TOS, and I've got the market timer XL. The market timer XL is the one that I used last Thursday. The market timer ARB is the one I'm using today. And if you guys get these scripts, for the strength index and for the supply and demand index and for the arbitrage script, I'll make sure I include my setup on all of those for you. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll include my setups and for both the scalping and for the arbitrage scripts. Absolutely. I was playing that video and I completely missed this. This is like, oh well. That's the way it goes. But the opportunities are absolutely insane. I'm gonna put both of those videos I showed you today. I got to get those videos up. I'm gonna put both of those videos up today. I promise. It's about 11 a.m. right now Eastern time. I'm gonna have them up
it by 1 p.m. today, Eastern time. So that's like in 3 hours. Because you guys are going to love those. It'll give you a lot more in-depth background about the different indicators, especially the market time or supply and demand index for the NASDAQ and the NYSE and the strength index. You're going to love them. Yes, hold me to it. Absolutely. Well, the only thing that would hold me up is I lost my internet connection. Otherwise, it's going to be up there at by 1 o'clock. Yes, in the trade I took this morning, like I said, you may not have been here to hear that. I started recording at about 9:45 because I saw the opportunity to go long the YM and short the NQ, and that's the long position that I took. So long position on the arbitrage YM NQ is long YM, short NQ. If it's a short position, then you're going to go short. Long YM, short YM, long NQ. That's a short position. Long position is long YM, short NQ. And you can actually, I guess if you just use the, the NASDAQ was so strong yesterday, and the reason it was so strong yesterday, right after the close, I was short the contract yesterday. So I was short YM, long NQ on this bar and into here, and then I exited. And then right after the close, this huge bar was created because of Alphabet's earnings announcement, just blowing everything out of the water. And so the NASDAQ took off really, really sharply. So, it's almost like it predicted that Alphabet's earnings would be really, really high, which is kind of an interesting idea. Anyway, this was already pointing down. The arbitrage script was pointing down. So it looked like the NASDAQ was really going to outperform the YM. The NQ is going to outperform. And as soon as those announcements came out at 4 o'clock, this is the 4 o'clock bar, they just dropped like a rock. And if you were short the trade, the pair, you were long the NQ and short the YM. That's about just one contract here. That's pretty close to $1,000, maybe $1,500 bill right there. Probably $1,000 bill, maybe more. And it happened pretty quick. You would have been out probably within 15, 20 minutes, not the whole hour. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up for today. Like I said, I promised to get those 2 videos up today. I'll put them in the trading room section category of the membership site. And I hope you guys all have a great day, and I'll see you again Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. No problem, Bob. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. You too, Eucharist. Have a great day. See you, Randy. Have a good one. See you again Thursday. Hope you can make it. Bye.